this is what you get in Ohio when you win a sire stakes race. So, it has been a tremendous start to the stakes season for TheStable.ca.
Yeah,
it has. For all of us here at The Stable, what a start. We have 8 or 9 or maybe even 10 stake winners so far throughout North America. Now, we won't take credit for, well, we can take credit for Swandre the Giant. I mean, Brandon Bates has him. He's doing a great job, doing a fantastic job with him. He won the stake elimination. Shh. And he is, he's racing him tonight, which is Saturday, in the stake final. So good luck. I hope they win. Drew the 9 hole, but he's a pretty tremendous athlete. So I expect him to do well. We had Holden Steady win a race in Illinois at the start of the year. We had 3 horses win stake races in Ontario last week. We had 3 horses win stake races in Ohio last week. So needless to say, we're off to a flying start. So let me just break down what's going to take place over the next 7 days for the McDonald family. So tomorrow, Ollie and I and Ava and Mummy, we're going to get up, have some breakfast, go to the barn.
And then go to Ohio, across the border, and then into Pennsylvania, to the Meadows, Poconos, and then we're going to go to the house where there's a basketball court.
You're silly.
And in that swimming pool.
Okay, so we're down there, fella. So, we're going to go to Georgian Downs first, though. We have to go race in Innisfil, Ontario. So, something happened that I never saw coming. Theoretically, because we have so many trainers now, Warwi Ultra is trained by Harry, and Ricky trains by Dance Hall Babe.
You about to see Buckeye Babe.
Yeah, with no common ownership, they could theoretically race against each other. And that's exactly what took place on Sunday. So, I'm going to buy a share of Warwi Ultra, and this will never take place again. But this week, Warwi Ultra and Dance Hall Babe unfortunately have to race against each other. This isn't your typical matchup. Both these fillies are tricky to drive. I own a lot, a third of Buckeye Babe, Dance Hall Babe, and I own none of Warwi Ultra, so I was forced to drive Dance Hall Babe. And I think we all saw last week that Warwi Ultra is an extremely finicky filly. Now, I'll be there to make sure everything runs smoothly. Sit down, buddy. As she races this week. I think Harry was concerned he had the hobbles a little tight the other day. I think, no, don't. And I think he did. And also, she scoped a little sick. I told you on the way home from Ohio, that it wouldn't be a problem. She'd qualify easily in 2-1, and that is exactly what I did. Won the qualifier in 2-1 handily and easily. People say, oh, well, she only come 30-4. Well, she also had a stake race in 4 days. What do you think, I'm going to empty the filly out? No, I wrapped her up halfway down the lane, earplugs in, finishing up. Plus, there was a headwind. She did everything I needed her to do and did it very, very well. So I expect her to race well tomorrow in Georgian Downs. So James McDonald is going to get a second chance with Warwi Ultra. There will not be 3 strikes in this ball game, so I hope he does well with her. And this is the official drink of TheStable.ca. I forgot I still had some bottles of it in the fridge. I know, shush. So, I'm going to run through the whole week. This is going to be a little complex. Obviously, we're going to get through all the horses. I do have a top 10 list. Now, I'll just tell you what. Our top 10 list consists of 8 stake winners. So, that's how many stakes we won. Winner, 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 winner. 8 stake... 7 stake winners and 3 second place finisher, a third place finisher, and a horse that's already won once this year but is making his first stake race start lifetime Tuesday at the Meadows. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then on the other side, we also have some horses to watch. Horses that may have been a little lackluster in their last outings. This list is more geared for the people who might be looking to wager on some horses. I don't know who they're in with. A lot of them I have no idea, but at the same time, these are horses. I'll give you a little backstory for each and every horse and why I think these horses are worth looking at. Because we didn't get a chance to talk about it in depth the other day, but obviously Buckingham paid $14, Hard 8 paid $50 to win. Obviously Tuscany was the favorite. Twinsburg was one of the favorites, as was Oh So Pine. Mo Better, coming off the virus. Yeah, that lasted long. Coming off the virus, raced tremendous, and he won. I think he might have been... No, he was at least $17 or $18, I think. And the list goes on. So we do have some horses that have been training great, looking great. Just top 10 horses to watch. And depending on the class they get in and who they're in with, I might give you a reason why you might want to take a look at maybe wagering on them, I suppose. Maybe I shouldn't do a list like that. I mean, we're not really geared for that. But at the same time, you take it for what it's worth. Keep an eye on them. And if you want to wager on them, go ahead. If you don't, that's great too. Keep in mind, I am the worst handicapper on earth. So there is a disclaimer that goes with all this. I can tell you all the information on every single horse we have, what they wear, what their tendencies are, how they've trained, whether they're good or whether they're not as good as people think they are. But I can't really tell you what to wager on them because I'm not very good at that. So, but I will give you all the information on these 10 horses that are racing this week. Because we do have a lot of people that come to the track. We do have a lot of people that say, oh, I wish I had known. Well, I don't know. But I could have given you a hint. Could have given you an idea. I figured Hard 8 would be good. Hoped she would be good. Buckingham, I told you guys, she was tremendous. That mile in Dresden was extremely deceiving. 58 in Dresden is about 55 at Mohawk. So was I shocked she went in 56? Absolutely not. But people were. I don't know what she paid, but I know she paid double digits. So, anyway, you know what? I'm not going to talk about the gambling angle. It just looks petty. So I'm just going to tell you top 10 horses to keep your eye on. You do what you want with that. And also, we're going to run through a quick little list right now of all the horses in the stable that are in each respective divisions. Many of these horses have won already. And I think it goes without saying, congratulations to Kevin McMaster. Hold on. 3 stake starters this week, 3 stake winners this week. Now, eventually they'll beat him. I'm almost certain of that. But for those of you out there that said, oh, Kevin McMaster's a claiming guy and he can't train babies. Yeah. This is why we hire people like Kevin McMaster. They're intelligent, smart horsemen, and a horse is a horse. You show them a good horse and they'll show you the winner's circle. And that's the thing is that, you know, a guy like Kevin McMaster, an O'Brien Award winner, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 career. I made that up. I know he's got at least 2,000 training victories in his life. And he is a sharp horseman, and he showed it this week. Hard 8, gate the wire to the 9-hole. Buckingham raced extremely well, winning 56 flat, and then followed it up with Mo Better with a sizzling last quarter of 27 seconds flat, coming off the virus, nonetheless. 27 seconds flat to take a new lifetime mark of 1:55.4. So we're going to run through these horses. Big shout out to Kevin. Big shout out to Harry. Harry's having a tremendous year. Sunshine's Finest and Maintenance Man were unbelievable last week. And then Ricky, who's just getting started now, getting rolling. He's got Dance Hall Babe starting on Sunday. We're going to run through everything. And the racehorses, we're going to give it all to you. It's not going to be a quick list. Do our best. Be back in a minute. My poor Ollie Bear is having a meltdown because he broke a toy. 2-cent toy. Isn't that always the way? Anyway, so we're back, and we're going to talk about the horses this week and how well they did. And I don't think it's gloating. It's our group. Everybody watching this video should be proud of what we accomplished. You know, we at the stable got to do something every establishment, every trainer wishes they could do. Everybody says at any given time that has ever trained or ever would train horses, you know, I know if I had good horses that they would do good. But not a lot of people get that chance. So I say it all the time when I write to you guys, and I say it on the end of my emails. I'll probably say it on the end of this one. You know, we appreciate what you've allowed us to do here at the stable. You allowed us to prove that we could do what people said we couldn't. We bought good horses. We found value in them. We trained them down. We made them the best horses they could be. And lo and behold, they went out and raced good. And this is only the start of the season. Only the start of the season. So when you look at Hard 8, here's a filly we bought for $35,000. She's our Better's Delight filly, a big, giant filly. And she is out of a sister to Bolt the Doer. Now, most of you, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere for a decade, know who Bolt the Doer is. Bolt the Doer helped my brother Mark, helped put him on the map, I'd say, in some respects. Still, certainly has the track record in Saratoga. 49. He went in 47 at the Meadows. He was in the Little Brown Jug. He raced in every major stake race in his life. So, for me, obviously a little sentimentality there, but not as much. We're talking about money. So, when we bought her for $35,000, obviously the pedigree was there, the size was there. She was a good-looking filly, and man, oh man, her first 2 starts, she was okay. First start, Paul McKenzie drove her, just kind of went around with her, hit the wood in Georgian, so to speak. There's no wood anymore. We're talking about the hub rail. It's just a saying that drivers and people in the industry use. We hit the wood with her, went around nice and easy with her, had her finish up her mile. She was okay. Then her second start, Paul McKenzie, I had James down to drive her, and he couldn't drive her. So Scott Young ended up on her. She finished second, 57, but again, looked stretched out, looked a little tired. So, we were having a rough night the other night. Linnea come up a little sick after her first start. She was one of the favorites, raced terrible. Honey, you're going to break my car. Please don't do that. Then, second race, Sunshine Inn, come up a little bit sick. So I was getting a little angry, so I went we're going out the door with Heart 8, and it was almost like, listen, if we're going to sink quick. I thought this filly, I'd have her forwardly placed. I thought we'd stir her up. You know, I know that Paul McKenzie went easy on her because he didn't know her. He's a little bit lazy sometimes. Scott Young, again, went a little easy on her. I was going to have her on her toes. And when we marched out of the gate, as all systems go, I crossed her over out of the 9-hole. 27 in a piece, 58, 127 mile, 56. She was on fumes getting to the wire, and she was working, and she knew where the winner's circle was. And, you know, I think all the hard work we put into them go a long way. When you see a horse physically tired halfway down the lane that reaches for the wire and holds on to win, and she knew exactly what she was doing, you know, it means a lot to me as the person that put the work into them. It means a lot to me as the driver. Okay, buddy. So it means a lot to me when these horses do what we've trained them to do and work so hard to achieve it. It really is a proud moment. So for me, I was extremely proud and happy with what I saw from Heart 8. This filly's got no quit in her, and she's bred to be a good horse. She has all the tools to be a good horse. We're going to give her every chance to do that. Then we roll down the list of Buckingham. Again, everybody, she goes away at like 6 or 7 to 1, and I don't think anybody realized what kind of a mile 58-2 in Dresden, Ontario is for a 2-year-old filly, her first lifetime start. So, garbage. Oh, good. I certainly wasn't upset at all with her mile in Dresden, and I knew she could pace 55 easy over Mohawk if she had to. She only had to pace 56 to get to the winner's circle. So, again, we kind of moved out and a seam opened up, and she shot through. And again, could have been 4th, could have been 3rd, could have been 2nd. Got to the winner's circle again. Again, very proud. Then the Colts raced on the Colts raced first, I think. No, Colts raced on Thursday. So Sunshine's Finest, James has been driving. James wanted to stick with him, so James drove him again. And we were all hoping that James would get away at least within 3/8 of a mile of the leader at the quarter pole. James just comes barreling out of there. I wasn't really surprised. You know, with a lot of money on the line, he had covered him up 2 weeks in a row. He left. Kind of got a little pinched in the middle. Dougie got down in front of him and forced him over to the front. Now, I can tell Dougie McNair, you know Dougie. So I can tell you this much. Had James made front squarely going into the first turn and let Dougie go and followed Dougie, I think we're in the winner's circle on Thursday night. That's not sour grapes. You know, Casey's horse win by 2-3 lengths, raced awesome, looked great, and is a fantastic horse. But you reverse those roles, and I think we're sitting in the winner's circle. But time will tell. These colts are going to race again. They're going to race lots all year. Sunshine's Finest will hook up not just with that horse, but the horse that beat Maintenance Man fair and square when Maintenance Man finished 3rd. That horse looked like a freak. The big Jim colt. Bronx. Oh, that's nice, eh? Put those back there. Bronx Sealster. Don't want to get that wrong. I think it's a Sealster. Bronx Sealster looked tremendous. 9-hole left, ducked in the 3-hole, come first over. Give it to me. Coming out of the last turn and drove away and won fair and square and looked great. I had Maintenance Man. He whacked it all out. 26, 55, and 4. 124 and a piece. 52 and 2. Now, Maintenance Man paced 50. That's good. Maintenance Man paced 153 and 3. Last quarter and 29 and 1, and looked tremendous doing it. Get Ollie in clean mode. He's going to clean the car now before we go to... before we go away. He's pretty pumped. I'll ask him when he comes back where we're going. He loves it. Anyway, then Friday night we come out. Now Mo Better, I had talked to you in the video last week about Mo Better and how he raced sick. Scope sick, finished terrible. Finished 7th, pace 57. 8 days out. It's going to be a chore to get this colt healthy. Put him on some fairly heavy antibiotics. Kevin ran a lot of fluids through him with the vet and trained him very light. Very light on Tuesday. Scoped him after we trained him. Still some mucus. More fluids ran into him. Raced him on Friday night. Warmed up decent. Pretty good. It's tough to tell, because he's a lazy little bugger, and I don't want to really hurt him, and I told you that in the video. So we decided we are going to race him. I got away 7th. I catch some good flow. Favorites first over, second favorites on the front, so they're fighting. James is second over with something, but he was keeping up, so he's doing a good job. We come out of the turn, and I knew I could see the front end collapsing a little bit. I called on him. Man, oh man, did that horse scream off cover. You know, 27 seconds flat. 8 days after scoping as sick as he did. 1:55 and 1 and mowed down the whole 6 in front of him from the 3/4 pole to the wire. That was some kind of mile. And again, couldn't be prouder with that horse. Hey, Ollie, where are we going tomorrow? What's up tomorrow?
Pennsylvania.
What?
Pennsylvania.
Why don't you tell everybody what we're going to do tomorrow? What do we do tomorrow?
Eat cereal. Go to the barn.
Yeah.
Going to go cross the border.
Oh, aren't we going somewhere first? Tomorrow night, where do we got to go before the border? Georgian Downs.
Georgian Downs.
We get Georgian
and then
Downs.
the border.
Yeah.
And then Pennsylvania and then Ohio.
That's right.
And I know where we're going to in Pennsylvania.
Where?
The meadows in Pennsylvania. Even the Poconos.
No, we're not going to the Poconos this week. We were there last week. Well, I was there. You weren't there. I was there.
Yeah, but when we're going to Pennsylvania tomorrow, we're going to be racing at the Poconos.
No, we're racing at the Meadows. The Meadows. You were there last year. You didn't remember. It's nice. The Meadows is the place that had the jacuzzi in the room, remember?
Yeah.
That's the whole summer. The whole summer was Ollie wanted to go back to the hotel that had the jacuzzi in the room. So tomorrow, in the parking lot of the Meadows, is the DoubleTree. And in that DoubleTree, there is a room. At least one. Oh, buddy, put those back. I need that. Put that back in the... No. Back in the envelope that you just got it from. Right back in there. Yeah. It's your Pennsylvania ownership forms. So, yes. So, in the DoubleTree, there's a jacuzzi in the room. And he's pumped. So, tomorrow, this is what the McDonald's are going to be up to tomorrow. We're going to get up, as Ollie said. Although I think eating cereal, I think we'll just go eat breakfast. How's that? We're going to eat breakfast. We're going to eat breakfast. Put it in nice and neat. Don't smash it up. Here, just give it to me. We're going to get up. We're going to eat breakfast. Gimme. We're going to eat breakfast, and then we are going to go to the barn. We're going to go to Georgian Downs. We're going to race Buckeye Babe and Dance Hall Babe together. Buckeye Babe. My God. Had enough of Buckeye Babe. Dance Hall Babe is going... Oliver, leave those alone, buddy. Dance Hall Babe is going to race with War We Ultra. And then right after that race, we are going to get in the car after race 4, which is around 7 o'clock. And we are going to drive the entire way to the Meadows. Be about 5 hours and 20 minutes from Georgian Downs to the Meadows in Pittsburgh, Washington, Pennsylvania.
That's far.
Not that bad. Yeah, it's far though. You'll be asleep. So we are going to, that's what we're going to do. Now, we talked about Dance All Babe. We talked about War We Ultra. Sunshine Inn and Linnea, for those of you that watch the race, you might notice they're not into going the grassroots at Grand River next week. We're not taking the chance on 8 days back with those fillies. They're a little more frail than Mo Better was or is, and scoped a little worse than he did. So we're not going to tempt fate with these two fillies. Stop, buddy. We're not going to tempt fate with these two fillies. We are going to let them get over the virus. Let them get over the sickness. Ollie, can you reach your little hand under there and get that pen that I dropped? Get that pen that I dropped? No, it's down there, under the seat. So, you're going to have to go underneath. So So yeah, those two fillies, we gave them the week off, put them on antibiotics, ran bags into them, and not race them next week at Georgia. And I think that makes sense. It goes without saying. Now, Monday we're going to be racing in Ontario. I'm not going to be racing them. It's under the seat right here, buddy. Under there. So, we have Timo Tulo. Now, I was a little torn. Here's my thinking. There's another one down there. So, we have 4 trotters in the gold. And the reason I did that, you might say to yourself, well, I'm not really sure. It's okay, I'll get it later. I'm not really sure if if Cruising with Angus is a gold colt or not. I don't know.
Even Cruising in
but
Style.
Sit back right now, in your seat right now. Ghost down. So we're gonna find out. And the reason I am is because the grassroots is Tuesday in Georgian, and I have no interest in racing Cruising with Angus in Georgian Downs. We're 0 for 1 there with him. He made a break, and a very uncharacteristic break for him. And to be honest, the surface at Georgian Downs is just about the worst surface in definitely Ontario right now. I raced in Dresden. Now my expectations were low for Dresden, so I was fine with Dresden. But my expectations were a little high considering Georgian Downs used to be one of the best 5/8 mile tracks I'd ever been on. Definitely the best 5/8 mile track in Ontario. And now it's horrible. The surface is terrible. But I mean, that's no, and that is a little bit of a slight. I expect more from the people that have that track. I expect more. Now, to be honest, Great Canadian Gaming, people may say what they want about them. They've been pretty good to us, you know, in the past. But to call a spade, they got to do some work on that. To call a spade, they got to do some work on that track. So hopefully, Dance Hall Babe and War We Ultra plow through it on Sunday night. But I can tell you right now, I had no interest in racing Cruising with Angus in Georgian Downs on Tuesday. So we simply put all the colts in the gold. I may be right, I may be wrong, but let me be very clear. There's going to be other horses in the gold that aren't gold horses. Horses are going to make mistakes. Horses are going to make breaks. And hopefully Cruising and Angus gets in a division where he can be effective. I don't think he's going to go out and trot in 57 or 58. I think he's going to trot in 2 minutes. And if that gets him some money and gets us into the winner's circle or somewhere near it, or at least a check, then that's a win for me. But I'm not going back to Georgian Downs with him right now. Maybe the track, they put new surface on it and they got to put more water on it or they got to work it. I don't know. But I know it was pretty bad the other night, really bad. And I wasn't taking any more chances especially with this colt. So, Timo Tulo, Timo Houdini, Cruising with Angus, Screaming Hawker, all in the gold. James is driving all of them except for Timo Houdini. He chose to drive one of Mark Stacey's in the qualifier. And I told Mike Saftik, who had schooled this colt a couple of times, you know, you go with him, you can keep the drive. And I'm a man of my word. Fair is fair. So I talked to Harry after the qualifier and I said, you know, how'd the other colts go? Him and Ricky took 3 of them over to qualifying school that day. And both him and Ricky said, yeah, he got along good with the colt. He looked good. Colt was fine. So that is who is going with the horse on Monday, and that is why he's going with him. So fair being fair, you know, these guys come out on their time, on their dime, to go with their horses all year. We should reciprocate, and that's only fair. So Mike Saftik is driving Timo Houdini on Monday evening. Monday afternoon, I'll be driving Final Answer, or Casanova's Jewel at the Meadows, and then Monday night I'll be driving Monday night. This goes back to my original sentence where we're going. Monday night, see you in Tuscany. I got to drive 2 hours to Cleveland to drive them at night. Then Tuesday afternoon, I go down. Race 1, race 2, race 4. We'll be racing White Tiger, Final Answer, Stonebridge Simba. Get in the car again. Go back to Cleveland. Twinsburg. Drew the 7-hole at Cleveland. Wednesday, though, we're 2 hours away, even further away. We're now in Columbus. So we drive to Columbus. Race the Colts. Now, there's only 3 divisions of the Buckeye Series. How weird is that? It's like saying there's only 3 divisions of the grassroots for 2-year-old trotting colts. Very unlikely, very rare. So 2 of our colts are in together. I think Curious Winner and Majesty Boy are in together. So I'm not sure who's driving Majesty Boy. I got the rail with Curious Winner. Majesty Boy drew 9 with whoever's driving him. Maxwell Plum, he bruised his leg the other day when he raced. And they say he's still pretty sore on it. So he's going to be day to day. We're going to be keeping an eye on Maxwell Plum. Nothing serious regardless. But I do, you know, that's the one thing. We're not racing these horses sick. We're not racing them lame. We're going to make sure that the horse is taken care of first and foremost. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on Maxwell Plum leading up to Wednesday afternoon. You can be sure of that. And then, who's the other one in the graph? Look, I got my old pen and I started clicking it. Oh my God. Who's the other horse? That's frustrating. The other horse, we have Majesty Boy, Candy Mac. Candy Mac drew 9. 9-hole in Scioto, the kiss of death. So, Candy Mac's going to have to be on his toes to race good out of the 9-hole in Scioto, but he showed his tenacity the other day, you know, with that seedy surface. He actually hit his knee. Never hit his knee all year, hit his knee twice. Put 2 cuts on his knee, never made a break. He put a step in the last turn, a step in down the lane, but never made a break. That's how tough this guy is. He's all trot. So those are the horses racing this week. Plus, we have all Jasons. We're going to be back in a minute. And it goes without saying, we have Holden Steady, Ivanka, and Angel still in Illinois. Ivanka is in a holding pattern. Angie and Rob think they got her sounder. I'm not disagreeing, but as I told them, if she can't win a division, if she's not competitive, she needs to go in the field and mature. So we'll see how that plays out in the next couple of weeks. And then in Indiana, we have Swandre the Giant. And again, I'll mention him. I feel a little awkward mentioning because we don't have Swandre the Giant anymore. I need to be abundantly clear about that. Brandon Bates has the training and driving duties of him, obviously doing a great job with the colt. So that's his show. That's all him. So Swandre the Giant looks great out in Indiana. 2 for 2. 9-hole tonight in Indiana. Wishing everybody good luck with that colt. And then Bay Jewel, obviously. Apparently she was going to win the other night. Made a break on cover. And didn't get any money. So we're going to have to regroup with her and get her back in the swing of things. I'll be back in a minute. We're going to run through Jason's burn, Ricky's burn, Harry's burn, Kevin's burn. We're going to run through everything. We're going to run through horses to watch, top 10 list, and then we're going to get right into all of them, all 54 now. Big news from last week with, I guess it's not 54 because Rock on the Roll's gone. We're staying at 53. 53. We're going to run through them all in just a minute.